So if you want to put your savings in the best possible accounts in 2022, you want to get the ones with the highest possible interest rates, the best possible return, then I'm going to take you through a handful of accounts which should cover all of your needs. And it's a really important point to start off here. You don't need to have too much money in instant access savings. You really only need to cover, general rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. If you couldn't pay the bills for whatever reason, you've got that cash you can go to, which means you won't get kicked out of your home, or you won't go without heating or with food, whatever it is. If you lost your income, you can cover those things. So have a think first of all about how much you actually need to do that. I'm going to take here roughly, let's say you need around £2,000 a month. Obviously you might have less, you might have more expenses, you might have higher or lower. And I'm going to say let's go for the whole 6 months rather than 3 months, just to give you that a little bit of an extra time period. I'm working on what you do with roughly £12,000 of savings. Where would you put it to get the best possible return right now? That's what I'm going to focus on here. I will also give you a couple of suggestions if you do need to save more than that or want to save more than that. That could well be because you've got something else that's going on this year, something you want to save for, a wedding, a car, a house, all those kind of things which will require a little bit of extra cash you don't want to dip into your emergency fund for, holidays, a new coat, whatever it might be. Plus, also maybe you just want to have a larger amount of money put aside. So I will go into those in a minute. But let's jump into then the first account I think you should go for, the one that's going to pay you the highest interest on that emergency savings cash. Easy access, you can get it out at any time. And this is the Virgin Money M Plus current account. This one has a limited amount of money you will earn interest on. You only earn it on the first £1,000 you have in that account. And the rate you'll get is 2.02%. Now that doesn't sound amazing, but compared to everything else, that is the best you're going to get. And sadly, although inflation rates are super high at the start of the year, and that will probably carry on as the year goes on, there's a big gap between them. It's still well worth getting the highest rate you can. So this is a current account. Okay, this is not a savings account, it's a current account, which means there will be a credit check when you apply to open it. Shouldn't be a problem for most people. Maybe stay clear if you've got a big credit application coming up in the next, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, particularly something like a mortgage, maybe stay clear. But if not, no harm, open this up and if you've got £1,000, got a lump sum, whack it in there. At the end of the year, you will make the grand total of £20.20. So again, it's not a huge amount of money, but it makes a difference. And as we add all these different accounts, I'm going to talk about, add them up, then it is a decent amount of money, well worth making the effort to get these. Now, the important thing to say about this account, you can have more than one of these. You can apply to Virgin Money once you've got it for a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth. I know viewers have told me they've got 14, 15, 16. Maybe by now someone's probably got 20 or so more. So potentially you could get more of these. But a couple of reasons you might not want to do this. One, you might get rejected. I have had a viewer get in touch and say they got 2 of them but were rejected for the third. So obviously a rejection isn't great for your credit report. So you've got to bear that in mind. I think it's a rarity, but it could happen. But also there are, as I went through in my recent best bank accounts for 2022 update and all the other content I've got here on the channel, there are some other current accounts you might want to prioritize first. Ones that will pay you more than 20 quid a year, even if you have no money sitting in them. So I would sort of think twice before applying for more than one of them, but I absolutely would get one, particularly because Virgin regularly has a switching offer into this account as well. Now this does change from time to time, but it normally involves maybe 12 bottles of Virgin wine or maybe £150 Virgin Experiences voucher. So if you've got a current account elsewhere that you don't need, you don't use, you could switch that in, get that free wine or free voucher, put your money in, earn that interest. Okay, so it's well worth. That's my number one pick. And also, if you're starting off, you don't have £1,000 already right now, then just put your money into it every single month as you save. Now, the next one after this is actually an app. And actually, it's slightly better than Virgin Money in lots of ways, but it is iOS only. So if you're on Android, then bear with me. I'll get back to another option for you in a second. But if you've got an Apple iPhone, open this account. It's an app called Claro. Claro is ostensibly a coaching app, so you can arrange video calls with money coaches and stuff. Let's forget all about that. Let's ignore that for now. As a kind of like introductory offer, a way to kind of tempt you in, they are giving 2% on £3,000 saved in this account. Now it's a variable rate, as that Virgin one is, so the rates could obviously change over time. They might close it to new customers. They might start adding a fee for the app. That's free at the moment, but if that comes in, that would change things. But right now, at the start of 2022, won't cost you anything. If you've got £3,000, you put it in there, and that is 60 quid you will get at the end of the year. Now it is easy access, although it might take around 48 hours for the money to come out, which is why I still think that Virgin Money M Plus current account is the best one, because that money is there. It is there straight away for you to transfer out. You can use your debit card to use it if you need to. All those options. The Claro one, slightly more restrictive, but 48 hours, that's nothing in the scheme of things, isn't it? So I would have a look at that. So that together, those two, that gives you £4,000. If you can't, get that Claro app, for example, because you are on Android, then maybe you do want to consider opening up more than one Virgin Money current account. So let's just say, for all intents and purposes, you've got 4 Virgin Money current accounts or 1 Virgin Money current account and a Claro account. That gives you 4 grand. That's a third of our 12 grand that we're going towards here already, ready for you to get access to anytime you want, earning the best possible interest rates you can right now. You can't beat 2%. Let's go to the next one. The third account I would look at here is another current account. This is the Club Lloyds current account. This one, the rate drops dramatically. We suddenly go down to 0.6%, but you can get that on a larger amount of money on the first 4 grand you have saved in that account. And if you have another grand, this is particularly a good account, I think, if you have 5 grand, whack the whole lump sum in there. Again, this is after Claro and Virgin Money, okay, the next level down. You will get an extra 1.5% on that extra grand. Now, if you have the full £5,000 in there, the average interest rate across it is 0.78%. And that is much, much higher than you're going to get at the best easy access accounts elsewhere. I'll talk about one of those in a moment, which doesn't have much of a limit. But again, the Club Lloyds current account will do that. Couple of things you have to bear in mind. You have to pay in £1,500 into that account every single month to avoid a fee. Really easy. You can do that in 3 lots of 500, 2 lots of 750, 1 lot of 1,500, whatever you like. You can do that. Really easy to do. That avoids that fee, and that money does not have to stay in there above that kind of 5 grand limit. And also you have to have 2 direct debits coming out of the account. So just make sure you've got the money to pay those. Again, I've got a whole video taking you through the easy ways to set up extra direct debits if you're a bit short of those because they're used up on other current accounts. Also, another reason why this Club Lloyds one is my third pick is you get some freebies with it. So you can get 6 cinema tickets, 12 movie rentals, or a magazine subscription for a year. That in itself is worth more than you're going to get if you've got a tiny bit more interest in a different account. So add all that together, we're looking at potentially 9 grand here. Decent amount, still not at that 12 grand. Because I'm thinking actually what you probably want to do, and if you've got these lump sums and you want to keep saving every single month, then you want somewhere to put that money. And this is where I would look at a nationwide flex regular saver. The most you can put into this account is £200 every single month, but you will get 2% again. So a really decent rate you're getting there compared to elsewhere. The NatWest and the RBS digital regular saver does pay slightly higher, 3.04%, but you're limited at 50 quid every single month in there, so you won't get as much interest. It's better to go for the slightly lower rate, but a bigger deposit. So your salary comes in, and on payday, the money goes straight out of that into this regular saver. Over the year, if you put that £200 in every single month, you'll get an extra 25 quid by 12 months' time. Now you can, what's good about this regular saver account is you can make 3 withdrawals from this account without losing that interest rate. It stays at 2%. If you do make a 4th one, it drops down quite significantly. So trying to avoid that. But again, this is about, you've got your money already in Virgin, Claro, Club Lloyds. This is the extra money that comes in. Hopefully you won't need to access that. It's only if things get sort of tighter after a few more months that you might need to go into it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, you won't. It just sits there earning you some money. Now, there is a condition for this one, but it's not a bad condition if you're willing to put in 10 minutes of work, 15 minutes of work. It is only available to people who are already have a nationwide current account. Now, you might think, oh, I haven't got one of those. I don't want one of those. Well, actually, at the time of filming this right now, could go, but it's been running since the summer. Nationwide are offering up to 125 quid as a bank switching bonus if you open up one of their Flex current accounts. So if you go for the simple Flex current account, then that one, open it up, have it there. Don't have to use it, don't have anything to do with it, but you can open up this regular saver. You'll get 100 quid if you don't already have anything with Nationwide, 125 quid if you already have something with them, and then you will be able to access this regular saver, earn that extra 25 quid as we go along. So that's 4 different accounts that you potentially could have. We'll give you a total balance of £11,400. So a little bit shy of 12 grand, but that's a decent amount of money you have saved in there. You might be thinking, is this worth it? Isn't this a bit of a faff, bit of hassle just for a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there? Well, let me just give you an example of how the interest you'll earn if you can fill up all those different accounts compares to if you went for the best easy access account. And that's still not a bad option. I'll talk about that in a second. So you will get £20 from the Virgin Money current account, assuming you just have one of those. £60 from the Claro account. £39 from the Club Lloyds current account, assuming you have £5,000 in there. And you will get £25 from the Nationwide regular saver, assuming you put in £200 every single month. That is a total of £144.20, which over 12 months averages out at just under 1.27%. So not amazing, not fantastic, but the best easy access account right now is 0.71%. the interest you'd get on that same balance, so 9 grand lump sum paid in, and then £200 a month paid into that account over the year, would get you £72.22. That is pretty much almost half of what you'd get. You know, these 4 extra accounts. So putting the money into 4 accounts rather than into a simple one single account is earning you an extra £72. I think it's worth it. It's not going to take you a huge amount of time to do it. Take you less than an hour overall, probably half an hour to do all of that. 70 quid an hour is a pretty decent rate. Yeah, as hourly rates go, that's pretty decent. So I absolutely would do this. Now, if you do think this is too much, Andy, just what's the one account? If I get just one single account for this year, what should it be? Well, with the caveat that interest rates can and will change over time. And don't forget that I do a monthly update on the best savings accounts, all the latest news, the new accounts, the ones that disappeared, the tricks, the bonuses, all that kind of stuff every single month. So make sure you hit subscribe, that little notification bell, so you get told about when those videos and all the other ones that do come along. So that's a great way to keep in touch with those. But with that caveat in mind, the best one right now isn't actually the 0.71% you can get. It's actually a tad lower than that. It's 0.7%. And this is via an app called Chip. The reason I'm giving you this is my best bet rather than the one that pays that little bit more is because if you've never used Chip before, there's currently a £20 welcome bonus. So that one, information on that I will link to below so you can click through and read more about how to claim that £20 offer and more about Chip. But this one, single account, it is app only, but you can put in up to £85,000 in there, protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. So if anything goes wrong, a huge amount of money is protected. If you do want to have more money in there, you can. You aren't constrained by these individual limits. And it's very quick to get your money out of Chip to your current account. So that is something to look at, worth considering, particularly when you factor in that 20 quid. If you put in that same amount of money we talked about before, and you add in that £20 bonus, you're looking here at interest of around £92, something like that. So again, that is still less than the £144, but more than just having it in a simple account. And it makes your life a lot easier. And very quickly though, I do want to talk about, well, what if you want more money? There are a couple of options you could look at for larger sums. And something that's been pretty decent for the last year and a half, something like that, are premium bonds. Now, premium bonds have a prize rate of 1%, but that doesn't mean you're actually going to win 1% back interest, okay? If you put £100 in, you're not going to get £1 because the minimum price is 25 quid. So obviously that means for everyone who wins £25, there are 24 people who don't win £1, don't win, so to speak. So that's how that's going to work out. However, if you have more than £5,000, more or less, then your average chance of winning, the average rate of luck, means you'll probably win 2 £25 prizes, which is 50 quid, which is 1%. You might win once, which would be obviously doing 25 quid, which is 0.5%. But the more you have in there, the more premium bonds you have, the more entries you have into the prize draw, the greater your chance of winning. Therefore, your chance of getting closer to that 1% are higher and higher. And that could mean that actually you get the same or more than that best easy access account I mentioned just now. Now, as those easy access accounts rates do improve, then it might be the amount you need in premium bonds for that to balance out increases as well. So maybe we'll be looking at 7 grand, 8 grand, 9 grand, 10 grand, who knows? So worth keeping an eye on that. I will update you, as I say, in those videos every single month. But it's definitely worth thinking about it. And with rates being pretty low, something I like about premium bonds at the moment is that you're not giving up a huge amount of cash if you don't win all the prizes. If you do get a little bit less than you kind of hope elsewhere, maybe 20 quid less, maybe 30 quid less, it depends obviously how much you've got in there. My experience of it over the last 12 months has been actually I've beaten 1%. I've got just over 1% on the 10 grand I put in a year ago. So I've actually done much better having it in premium bonds than I would have done in an equivalent easy access account. Obviously, if I've done better than others, some people might have done worse. Again, it is all luck of the draw, but something I'm willing to take a punt on. Maybe you are too. Now, I will link below to my article, which takes you through not just these current accounts, which I've just spoken about right now, and these savings accounts just spoken about, but loads of other options. There are so many different ones you might want to consider. There are ways to get £50 bonuses. There are ways to put money over here. Lots of different ways. So read the article. I will link to it below so you've got more information there. They will also have links to the articles I've spoken about right now and that way to get that £20 bonus from Chip. Now, if you have found this video useful, please do hit the like button. Really would appreciate it. And do comment below. I'd love to know where you're putting your money, which accounts you've liked, whether you think it's worth moving it around to have multiple accounts, or whether you're happy to go, right, Andy, I just want the easy option.